Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys are having a great and exceptional day. Probably can't see me that well, but it's all good. I'm in the car. I just got home from work, but I just saw something that was very interesting because everybody has been running to Texas and Florida for the last 10 to 15 years. They've been leaving California. They've been leaving New York. They've been leaving the whole Northeast, parts of the West Coast, even certain parts of the Midwest. A lot of times for people to just have a brand new start. A lot of times for people to just start a new life. A lot of times people trying to escape the egregious taxes of places like New York and California, the crappy weather in New York, because California's got great weather, but, taxes are egregious. And it's just basically New York and California is for the well-to-do, or it's just a place where they'll, bring immigrants in. I'm not saying anything anti-immigrant, but there's specific programs that have working people from other countries come there to house them and to ensure that they're good to go. And then there's other programs for other immigrants who get visas from other parts of the world so they can work for tech companies and things of that nature. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that if you really look at the demographics of the people who are moving to places like New York State or California, that's what's happening. Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. It is what it is. I don't have anything against anybody for wherever they come from, the race, religion. I can't stand people who are jerks, but as far as your race, that's irrelevant to me because I love everybody if you're a good person. So I'll leave it at that. But what I'm saying is, from an economic standpoint, the only people that are really truly moving to those areas, for the most part, usually from other parts of the world, number one. And number two, but the point I'm really making this rant today is like, I saw this post about Texas. I already knew this about Florida's basically becoming a state that's going to be gentrified, but the state of Texas is next. Because most people, just like in any state, most people where they live at in a specific part of a state is usually within an hour to 2 hour radius of a major metropolitan area. The areas of Texas that matter the most is Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. But those really Dallas, Houston, and Austin are the biggest cities in the state of Texas. The biggest city in the state of Texas is Houston. So those are the main states, especially with Austin being the capital city, state capital, and being a tech hub. That's where the money moves are being made in those specific areas. But moral of the story is, what I saw today is the cost of rent in Texas as a whole has gone up to 30%. And they're going to need the minimum wage to go up to at least $18 right now. Now, I'm making this statement because I love to laugh at the political Republican and Democrat people. Because yes, I'm laughing at those people at this point because this is a red state. It don't get more red than friggin' Texas, okay? So we already know the cost of living is egregious in California and New York. But now we're seeing it in Texas. Hey, I love Texas. I'm going to Houston next week. So I got nothing against Texas. This is not being anti-Texas, anti-California, anti-New York. Listen to what I'm talking about, the economics of it all. What I am saying is the cost of rent in Texas has gone up 30%. So I made a video 4 years ago, way before the pandemic, saying you cannot escape gentrification. If your family is not operating like a corporation, then for the most part, from an economic standpoint, 9 to 5 regular working people are going to be screwed, regardless who's sitting in the White House, governor's house, or the mayor's house. Okay? I said this during the Obama era, and it was true then. It's true during Trump. It's true during Biden. It's going to be true after them. So that's why I laugh at the political nonsense. It's about the numbers. It's not about the politics, because you can't do politics without economics, period. All right. So that's just one thing I got to put into the atmosphere. All right. If your family's still operating like the Brady Bunch, Leave It to Beaver and the Jeffersons, where I'm just going to go to work and my kids are going to graduate from school and we're just going to have a great la-di-da-di-da life. And then when they turn 18, they're going to leave the house and then they're going to start their own life. And that'll be that. Family has to start operating like a corporation. One thing I love and respect about immigrants is they might have 15 to 20 people living up in the house, but they got 15 to 20 freaking paychecks coming in the house, and they'll utilize each other's credit and they'll utilize each other's money in order for them to buy cars, buy houses, and buy businesses. That's what I call family economics. Families operating like a corporation. I got so many people on my mother's side of the family that used to do that way before we had all these apps, because they had no choice. They came from North Carolina, they went up to New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut, and they were buying the places where they could buy houses and buy startup businesses. They did that by utilizing each other's money, by utilizing each other's skill sets, by utilizing each other's credit. So this is just another story of saying, hey, I'm not saying, oh, I'm right and I know everything. No, what I'm saying is you might get mad at the people that are thriving better than you, regardless of where they come from. I'm not talking about race. I'm just talking about economics. But look how they did it for the ones that weren't born with a silver spoon in their mouth. You can make so many more moves. They say if you want to go somewhere, go by yourself. But if you want to get very far, go with others. Your circle matters. Get away from people that just want to talk about anime, sports, and politics. If you're not talking economics, then I'm just basically going to vomit. All right. My circle of people, we talk about how to get money, how to save money, how to invest money.